Today in Houston, a crowded city council race heats up, the regional economy picks up speed, and crews break ground to make a tricky intersection safer. Plus, the office and housing markets show their hands. I'm Dean Bark. Let's start with this. 7 candidates are in the running for Houston's City Council District C seat, with a special election set for April 4th and early voting beginning March 18th. District C is a centrally located council district that carries heavy weight on city budgeting, public safety priorities, mobility projects, and neighborhood services. That's the headline. Here's the latest scoop. Voters will select one person to finish the current term for District C. That winner will immediately step into the budget cycle, infrastructure decisions, and committee work that shape day-to-day life in the district. Translation: the person who gets this seat will be voting on how quickly those sidewalks get poured and which streets make the mill and overlay list first. No room for sugarcoating here. District C's priorities typically revolve around public safety and police staffing, street repairs and drainage, traffic and pedestrian safety, and quality of life items like parks, trash pickup, and neighborhood preservation. Housing affordability and small business support are also front and center as commercial corridors evolve. With 7 names on the ballot, expect a spread of resumes, neighborhood advocates, business professionals, and policy hands, each trying to convince a relatively small turnout to show up in a special election. If only potholes were campaign donors, they'd get fixed overnight. What's the takeaway? In a low turnout contest, a few hundred votes can decide who steers millions in city spending for some of Houston's most active neighborhoods. Bring an approved photo ID, double-check polling locations and hours with the county elections office, and know that early voting lines are usually the quickest path in and out. A vibrant democracy is one where every vote counts, and District C is about to see some real action. Moving on, Houston's economy is outpacing peer metros, according to the Greater Houston Partnership, better known as the GHP, the region's business and economic development group. Let's cut to the chase. Faster growth means stronger hiring pipelines, busier ports, and more bets placed by expanding companies. Time to dig into the details. The partnership's assessment points to diversified engines. Energy and petrochemicals still anchor investment. Healthcare and life sciences around the Texas Medical Center keep adding patients, labs, and jobs. Logistics accelerates through the Port of Houston's container surge, and aerospace and tech suppliers feed work tied to NASA's Johnson Space Center. Add in manufacturing, construction, and a steady stream of business expansions, and you have the recipe for outpacing comparable cities. Implications: employers tend to lift starting wages to compete, commercial landlords get more inquiries, and local governments see steadier sales tax receipts. Job seekers can find more openings across skill levels, from skilled trades to advanced degrees. For small businesses, a growing customer base can justify that extra hire or a second location. For workers, that certification class or credential might pay off faster than expected. But, well, that's one way to look at it. Growth comes with homework. Infrastructure has to keep up. Arterials, freight corridors, drainage, and power resilience. Housing supply needs to match new demand to keep prices from outrunning paychecks. Employers still chase talent, so pipelines through community colleges and universities matter. And the energy transition isn't theoretical here. Industrial decarbonization and grid reliability are real bottom-line questions. What's the takeaway? Momentum is on Houston's side. The responsibility is making sure capacity, people, housing, and infrastructure keeps pace with the headline numbers. Next up, construction is underway on pedestrian safety upgrades at Ella and Grovewood. That's an intersection in northwest Houston where vehicle volumes and neighborhood foot traffic meet. It's now slated for design changes meant to reduce conflict and improve accessibility. Here's what these projects usually include. Expect high-visibility crosswalk markings, refreshed or added signals and signage, curb ramps that meet ADA standards, and possibly curb extensions or median refuge to shorten crossing distances. Better lighting and tightened turning radii can slow vehicles just enough to prevent those right-hook surprises. The city's broader safety push aims to cut serious crashes across hotspots like this, one intersection at a time. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Construction brings lane closures and a few detours. Drivers will grumble, joggers and parents with strollers will cheer, and deliveries will thread the needle for a few weeks. When the cones come up, the expectation is slower turning speeds, better driver yield rates, and more predictable crossings in the evening. Crosswalk paint isn't a force field, but design changes do the quiet work of prevention. Importance? Urban development like this is not just concrete and thermoplastic. It's about making a school run less stressful, a bus stop more reachable, and a corner store accessible to someone using a mobility device. Improving pedestrian safety isn't just about infrastructure, it's about saving lives. That's the story right there. Let's pivot to the next story. The Swift Building, an office project in Houston's commercial landscape, has announced more tenants and is now about 80% leased. Think of it as a snapshot of where demand still shows up in the office market. Locations with amenities, access, and newer systems keep winning tours. Significance. In a market still sorting out hybrid work, hitting 80% is a milestone. It boosts confidence for lenders and developers eyeing renovations or ground-up projects, and it stabilizes nearby retail by adding weekday foot traffic. For the city's tax base, leased space, paired with tenant improvements and payrolls, helps keep revenue stable for services. Trends to watch. Flight to quality remains the name of the game. Top-tier buildings with good air, light, parking, and on-site perks can draw commitments, while older space has to sharpen pencils on price or invest in upgrades. Flex suites and shorter terms keep popping up as companies avoid overcommitting. And tech, engineering, energy services, and healthcare support firms are among the steady takers. Seeing a building like Swift fill up is one more data point that Houston's business climate is, still pretty lively. Last up, Houston's housing market saw more homes hit the market in February while prices moderated. That's from the Houston Association of Realtors, or HAR, the industry group that aggregates listings and sales data across the region. What it means: more new listings ease the bottleneck that frustrated buyers last year. Moderating prices suggest sellers are meeting the market, pricing closer to recent comps and making room for concessions. For buyers, slightly more choice can mean less bidding war drama and more time to get inspections done. For sellers, the window stays open, but condition and pricing discipline matter more. Zip-to-zip differences remain. Some neighborhoods with tight school zones or walkable amenities still move fast. Others sit longer as buyers compare commute options and monthly costs. Mortgage rates and insurance premiums are the wild cards. Small rate shifts can add or subtract hundreds from a payment, changing what's affordable in a hurry. Builders, for their part, keep using incentives, rate buydowns, closing cost help to keep the pipeline moving. What's the takeaway? A more balanced market can be a win-win. Better selection for buyers, realistic timelines for sellers. If these trends hold into spring, expect days on market to normalize and price growth to stay in check. Let's not overcomplicate this. Supply up, pressure down, but keep an eye on rates. And that's where we'll leave it.